L'industrie de la construction a été infiltrée par la mafia.
The construction industry has been infiltrated by the mafia, she said.
On a une déclaration d'un spécialiste de la GRC qui dit que les Rizzuto touchaient 5 de gros contrats de construction.
Oui.
Est-ce que c'est vrai?
Tout à fait.
5
Oui, des chiffres dans cet ordre-là, entre 3 et 5, je vous dirais.
Est-ce que vous l'avez vécu, ce 5
On se l'est fait, oui, on nous a demandé de payer ces argents-là.
Qui vous a demandé de payer ces argents-là?
Le fils.
Le fils?
Le fils de M. Rizzuto.
Nick Rizzuto Jr. est le fils de Vito Rizzuto. Selon des sources policières, il tentait de succéder à son père, emprisonné aux États-Unis, avant d'être froidement abattu en décembre dernier dans le quartier Notre-Dame-de-Grâce.
Hence, the street gang takeover was complete. The story must reach its zenith. And so, what is Montreal City to do? Its citizens haven't even met fentanyl yet. It was still 2012 or 2013. Our merry band of bloods have lost a leader. And that's when the direction changed. The details behind how Gaétan Gosselin was granted one extra day to live was among many presented inside of court. As truth was coming to the light in Canada, both men appeared to be on the opposing side of Vito Rizzuto, the now deceased mob boss, who a decade ago attempted to maintain control as the head of the Montreal Mafia. But Desjardins was part of a group that tried to take control away from him, from the Rizzuto organization, in 2010 and in 2011, while Rizzuto was behind bars in the US. But as we know, during that time, his enemies seized the opportunity. As we have already spoken about Buffalo, New York's interests, I divert your attention to the east, as the Rizzuto organization was nicknamed the Sixth Family. And so, one must ask, why the unnecessary introduction of an iron worker from New York, a certain Sal Montagne, because his arrival into the landscape shows us that the Rizzuto organization wasn't paying enough money to New York, as they were planning on seating one of their own permanently. It was time for Bonanno.
In Montreal, Canada.
Welcome to
Montaigne
Montreal.
was notorious banana. Montreal. Of New York's notorious banana.
Welcome to Canada.
And so Vito was wrestling with demons, as no father should outlive his son, nor should the grandfather die so despicably in front of the wife and kids. And Vito was in jail, watching it all happen. His father, his son, his brother-in-law, his consigliere, his capos, helplessly sitting in jail, watching them getting picked off, uno by uno. And here you were, retirement-aged, ready to enjoy the fruits of your retirement, the best years of your life, turned into the worst nightmare. And that was not all. In secret, Vito was battling cancer, and his age was up there, and having been showed the cards of betrayal over and over again, perhaps not being able to differentiate between what's friend or foe anymore. The diplomat godfather had spent years forging alliances. Vito was cornered, and all this because his last dying wish was revenge. We've all said or done things that we've regretted later on in life. Perhaps we had our priorities wrong, or we were chasing the wrong things. Perhaps we had our priorities confused. But at least later on, we've come to our senses and have become better people. Well, on that cold January 22nd of 2013, you and I, were witnesses to extraordinary kindness. Because the Bloods have decided to exercise their morals. Not only four assassins were visiting St. Leonardo, they were attempting to commit a murder for Godfather Vito Rizzuto. But the thing is, my friend, as they were surveilling the property, a kid showed up. And their street gang boss, Harry Mittill, was chilling in Ontario because he was either fixing his alibi or maybe he's just incriminating himself through text messages. And in the words of his soldier, Kevin Tate, it was perfect. It was perfect. It was just the kid who fucked the ambience. We will redo it in the same way, the same place, the same location, so it will work. Tate wrote, smartphone seized later in the investigation revealed that after the hit was called off, Gay sent a message to his buddy Tate saying, I scrapped it, bro. There was a man with his child passing by at the same moment. And Tate rejected Harry's offer to do it the next day. Instead, he would opt to do it at night, saying, in the same way, in the same place, in the same location, so it will work. And then Gay texted Mittill, yeah, there's never two without three, send in a third, stating his requirements for the next job. Gay added, bro, I have begun to have a taste for this, and indeed, video images recorded by a security camera installed right outside Gosselin's home showed a man and a child walking by at that very moment. The camera also recorded images of a van that drove past Gosselin's home very slowly while he was putting out his trash. And they finally killed him. One of Desjardins' right-hand men was dead, Gaétan Gosselin. The gunman left his body and fled, and in the minutes that followed, Gay texted the boss, 10-4, a police code meaning received and acknowledged. But Olivier Gay was not done. He had another assignment just a few days later. Vincenzo Scuderi, 49, was killed 9 days after Gosselin, and so both men appeared to be on the opposing side of the war against Vito Rizzuto, the now deceased mob boss. And Vito had just exacted punishment. Why? Because these men were part of a consortium which includes Desjardins, and this group tried to take the control away from the Rizzuto organization. Vito Rizzuto had won this battle. He had exerted his power. Yet, let's be very clear, to the mob, these young 5 men are disposable if at any point they become embarrassing. But Vito has nothing to worry about, as he's under the grave now. Hence, his name has not even touched the court. Yet here was an example of the tentacles of Vito Rizzuto. Let's put it this way. There's not many godfathers that could mobilize a blood army to come knock your head off. Here they were, street gangs at his beck and call. And in normal circumstances, we could have deemed him a Teflon Don. But you and I both know that the reason behind all this mess was because of the extradition to the US. And although Vito may have won this battle, he had not won the war. One of his greatest enemies had outlived him. And I'm not talking about Desjardins. I'm talking about De Vito. No, not that one. I'm talking about Ponytail. Even after his death, Vito gets revenge. Lastly, I leave the viewer with this question. What do viewers think about Harry's death? Wouldn't it be safe to assume that those he's been setting up to die have also reacted? Now, as promised earlier in the video, Desjardins, while Vito was rotting in jail, Desjardins was making big moves. Some say he had more influence in the real estate sector in Québec.
Je vais vous demander de nous mettez-le sur pause. En partant vers la gauche, je vous demanderai d'identifier les gens.
Oui, la personne à gauche avec les lunettes fumées, vous voyez de profil droit, et Rénal Desjardins. L'autre individu de dos, je vais laisser progresser le vidéo.
On va le voir plus tard, mais vous pouvez tout de
Exact.
suite l'identifier si vous voulez. Vous en avez déjà pris connaissance. Ah, c'est qui?
Bertolo.
Lequel, Bertolo?
Son pic de vidéo, je vais vous le laisser
Ok,
aller.
je vais laisser progresser le vidéo. Bon, si on est capable de l'arrêter,
Bon.
juste apporter à votre
Faites-les revenir un petit peu, là. Faites-les revenir un petit peu. Je pense-
Juste porter à votre attention
Oui, allez-y.
le fait que M. Dupuis donne des becs à M. Desjardins, qui est sans aller dans les détails culturels ou peu importe, dans un milieu criminalisé. C'est une marque non d'affection, de familiarité, de proximité.
Ce que vous voulez dire, c'est que si on se connaît pas, on s'embrasse pas. C'est ça que vous voulez dire?
C'est bien ça.
Continue. Et là, il y a un autre individu que vous allez identifier tantôt. Là. Vous l'avez confondu avec M. Bertolo, mais qui a fait une accolade.
Oui, il y a une accolade et des becs, c'est des signes de familiarité. Il était ciblé d'une enquête motard. À l'époque, il faut reculer dans le temps, en 2008.
On est pendant Shark.
On était dans le projet Shark, qui est un projet qui visait les Hells Angels. C'est un projet qui était... Les Hells Angels étaient dans l'actualité, étaient sous enquête. Amener de la chaleur, jargonisé. Il ne veut pas amener l'attention policière à un individu comme Jocelyn Dupuis, Rénal Desjardins ou Mario Beaulé, lors d'une rencontre dans le stationnement.
À ce moment-là, M. Dupuis, 27 octobre 2008, est toujours directeur général de la FTQ Construction, là, selon...
Oui, il est toujours à la FTQ Construction.
Et
Et M. Desjardins va quitter avec ses lunettes fumées.